doing tonight. Alright, so just before we start again, I just wanted to say this is a pre-release alpha development release. They just updated it. There is going to be a lot of bugs. It is a new development build. They did another release today, just fixing a few minor bugs that I personally haven't encountered yet, but it has stuff to do with like carrying things that aren't there, just some loose bugs in the code that they have. Like I said, our last colony made it to 30 cycles. I don't know why it says 29. I think that's the autosave for it. That's 29, but we actually made it to 30. So that's pretty awesome. Today we're gonna start over again and take it from there. So like I explained yesterday, Oxygen Not Included is a colony building simulation, and kind of like RimWorld, but just imagine it like you're taking care of an ant farm in like this terrarium. Oh, and the game crashed. Let me launch it again. So yeah, the game is a colony building game, and a la RimWorld. Hopefully it doesn't crash again. And right now we're going to be presented with our starting colonists. We usually get a choice of 3. They're usually pretty good. Like, they don't have too much downside. Okay, here we go. We have Cass, the level 7 runner, Marie, the level 4 chef, and Brainan, the level 7 runner. They each have their own set of attributes, set of traits, and some additional details in the bottom here, which like what they expect the decor to be and what they do when their stress gets to a certain level. Like Cass here is destructive. She'll actually start destroying things. So let's take a look at who we have. So Cass, the level 7 runner, is really fast, but is a yokel. She can't research, which is okay at the beginning of the game. Research is not that important, just because we're getting up and running and just taking care of the basics. Running might be movement speed might be really good, but not the best. We want somebody with really good digging speed, because that's what we're going to need. Early Bird, the duplicant wakes up feeling fresh and efficient. In the first part of the day, adds +2 to all skills. This is actually really good. And her decor expectation is -5. Areas with decor values lower than a duplicant's decor expectations will cause their stress to rise, while decor values higher will cause their stress to fall. So low expectation is good for us to control stress levels. So Marie is one of our best ones so far, except she farts a lot. Actually, she can't cook. That's also okay. Irritable bowel, takes a little longer to do their business, and also is an early bird, so at the beginning of the night, but she's good at cooking, good athletics. We don't have a good digger, so I think we're going to re-roll for a digger. Diver's lungs is really good too. They use less oxygen, hence the name of the game is, Oxygen Not Included. Construction is really good, 150%, but he's a narcoleptic, but he'll fall asleep anytime. Not the greatest, so let's look at somebody else. He's uncultured, refuses to do art, and eats a lot. We need somebody who digs, so let's just keep rerolling. Nice digging. Slow learner though, but really quick digger. I think this looks pretty good. Alright, let's get to naming them. I think today I'll name them after my pets. So this will be Jaina, this will be Callie, my cat, and this will be Carrera, my other cat. And it's the prosperous but not so comfortable hovel. Oh, I like that name. I like the word hovel. Alright, let's get right into the game. So once the game starts, you'll get a good idea as to what to expect. Alert! Your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. It might be best to start digging. Begin. We're gonna start... So the basic controls, WASD will move you around. Colony management, we need them to start digging, so we'll use the G key to open the dig menu, which is all the actions are down here in the corner. So let's get them to start digging out that way. Pretty straightforward. While I go over the details here. So up here is all the time control stuff, and kind of the messages that they have. So our colony currently requires toilets. We're in the first cycle. We have 3 colonists that are 3% stressed. We have 20,000 kcals available. I'll just pause it by pressing spacebar. Let's unpause it here. This is the controls for the speed of the simulation, and toggle red alert. I didn't actually get a chance to use the red alert button yet. Ignore their basic needs and work. This might be good. Next is over here where you can assign the different jobs to people. So if you want somebody to just focus on one thing, you can just have Jaina focus on combat, and she just sits there until combat is needed. But right now at the beginning we'll just have everybody doing everything. Vitals, keep track of your duplicates. Reports, this will be good after the first couple cycles. And research will be unlocked later. Overlays will give you very important information about your base. So let's pause it and take a look at all the overlays here. So we have the oxygen overlay, which tells you where all the oxygen is. Right now the oxygen is being generated by this oxalite here. And the best thing about the game is that you can click on any square and get kind of details about it. So status, information, LR302, a chemical compound that slowly emits breathable oxygen. And oxygen is highlighted because it's important. I'm not sure if eventually you'll be able to click on it or something to take you somewhere to give you information. But it's consumable, it has a melting point, it has a hardness, it's a solid material, really good. It has a mass, so its mass will start going down as it releases oxygen. Thermal conductivity and specific heat capacity. It's a very detailed game. Anyway, back to the overlays. We have our oxygen here. We have very good breathable air here because of the oxalite that's producing it, which is pretty cool. We don't have to worry about oxygen just for a little bit at the start of the game. Then you have power grid overlay, temperature overlay, we have light, we have liquid, we have gas, decor. Not looking really good. I guess the decor is high here because we have all these plants, plants give a lot of decor, and priority. So right now everything is about mid-level priority 5, so everything is equal, and the priority I think will be decided by this here. So people will fight before they cook, they will dig last, so they have to do everything before they start digging, which might be why you'd want to assign one person to do the digging, so somebody's always digging. So now that we have some materials, we're able to look at some of the buildings that we can build. The basic things are in the base here. We can make ladders and tiles. We can make doors. These doors don't block anything, so gas and liquid can flow right through them. We have a storage compactor. I'm not sure if you can see it because my face cam's in the way, but then there's oxygen. We have the algae deoxidizer, which will be one of the first things that we build to produce oxygen. But right now we're looking pretty good because we have this middle section here. Will produce a fair amount of oxygen. Next is power generation, which we will need. Electrical wire to connect and tiny battery to store the charge. Next is food, so microbe musher will create our food. Right now we have 20,000 calories. I think each one consumes like maybe 3,000 or 1,000 calories. 2,000 calories. They can burn 2,000 calories before they starve. I don't know what this... Oh, it's going down because they're digging, so they're using up calories. Utilities, can't do anything. Plumbing, we can build an outhouse, which we will need. Our colony does require toilets. And then the outhouse will produce some bad odors and gas, as well as contaminated dirt that we can deal with later on in the game. AKA refine it like compost here. We can take the contaminated dirt and make it into fertilizer, which I really haven't found a use yet because I haven't really gotten that far in the game. Next is plumbing. We already talked plumbing. Medicine, so people can get unsick. Stations for research. A sleeping area, massage tables and lamps. And then eating areas and ceiling lamps. So light, I think, increases people's, reduces stress, so that's good to have. And decor, we have flower vases and memorials for people who die. I haven't had anybody die yet, because I never reached that point where I let people die. I just gave up. Alright, so we'll get back to digging. We'll actually speed it up just a little bit so we can get to building stuff. So I like putting tile down because it looks good. Keeps everything neat. So our first step will be to create some sleeping area for our duplicants. So we'll need some cots. And I like creating sleeping areas on an upper level. So let's build some ladders into... I don't want to use this oxalite here. I want to save it up a little bit. So build a ladder here in the central area. And do a second part of the base. So let's tile here. Across this way. So they can reach too high, as you can see. It can reach up here. And build that. And then we'll have them dig out a little sleeping area up here. I like doing it 3 high, but some areas will need to be 4 high. Stuff like the shower later on and algae distiller will need to be 4. We'll need room 4 high. And as you can see, the sand is actually falling down. So we might as well just dig it all out. We'll prioritize the sand to be dug out first, so it doesn't fall on their heads. And then we'll build some cots for them to sleep. So right now we'll need 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's look at the oxygen level in here. So it's breathable, so all the oxygen is kind of filtering up here. So oxygen will rise, and then the carbon dioxide, that's red, will sink. So that's pretty good. Let's take a look at where there's more oxalite. I think this is the only area that has oxalite. Well, there's a couple of oxalite pockets down here. I guess we can save it. It's generating micrograms of oxygen. And it's not going down that fast, so that's good. This one, however, is going down really fast. So now they're idle, right? Or are they... they're unassigned. Alright, so they have their sleeping area up here. We're going to make a little power generating area down here. So let's dig out this way. And have some more tile going out. So what is this? This is dirt. So we're going to need dirt to actually start creating food. This microbe musher creates food out of dirt and water. So we will need access to water. There's a lot of water down here that we'll eventually build some stairs to. So alright, so it's sleep time. So let's pause it and take a look at cycle 1 report so we can have an idea of what's happening. So we've generated no oxygen, but we've used 131 kilograms. We've generated no power, we've generated no calories, so food. But we've used about 2,000. Stress, minus 59. Everybody's nice and unstressed. Nothing really too bad has happened so far. And we have had 2 skill increases. And their skill increases over time. Let's see, the stats. So his learning is minus 3. That sucks. But digging is 9. Strength 1. Carrera is... like athletics, she runs really fast, so we're gonna have her generating our power. And once they're complete here, we'll start building our power situation, because we will need to start producing oxygen very soon and food. So I've looked at a couple of people who've been playing over the last 24 hours, and they seem to put their batteries in different rooms than their generators, and I feel that's a really good idea, because we don't really need to worry about where the batteries are. We need to worry about where the people are running, because that's where they're going to produce a lot of carbon dioxide. So right now what we're going to do is build a generator here. And then this is 1, 2, 3 high, which is perfect. And we'll put 2 tiny batteries underneath it. We're going to have to build a ladder going down to this kind of sub-basement area. We'll have to deconstruct that so we can... Oh, they need toilets because they're going to poop. So we'll build an outhouse over here. And we'll prioritize it. So I don't want them pooping on the ground. Build the outhouse, please. There we go. Yeah, I know. So now we'll build, we'll go back to building our sub-basements. He's building toilets. Restroom out of order. 3... No, it's not out of order. Okay, now it's working. So now they're gonna use the toilet. I really hope they don't poop themselves. Not a good start if they do that. Oh, somebody made a mess. Nice. So mop it up quick, please. Contaminated water, we have to mop it up real quick or else it'll cause some diseases. We don't like to see diseases. Not cool. And can they breathe down here? No, that's really bad. See? Like they suffer carbon dioxide. So we're gonna connect the power lines. So we can start producing power and thus start generating oxygen. And we're gonna be using algae as our main oxygen generation tool. And there's a lot of it right now, but we will run out towards the mid game. All right, so they're building our sub basement here and connecting the batteries to it. And as you can see, if the ground underneath a placed object is destroyed, it'll actually stop functioning. So right now we want Carrera to be the only one that generates power, because she runs really fast, and I think that will help with the generating power. And we'll put an oxygen generating deoxidizer down here. And that should pump oxygen into this area, but it should also float it up into there. And I feel that's a good spot for it. We need electric wire to plug it in. Alright, so far so good. We're gonna approach the end of cycle 2. We got our basic, we got our oxygen generation, we got our power generation. So next we need to start worrying about food. Actually we don't, we have 21 cows. But it would be good practice to just start worrying about food now. You don't have to actually produce the food, but it'll at least remove this. In the meantime, also, just to keep everything nice and tidy, we'll put a couple of storage lockers on the 2 ends. Of the map, like that. And we'll start expanding our second level. Just so everybody has something to do. So this needs to be assigned what goes in here. So right now I'm just gonna select all. Same with that one. Alright, so cycle report 2 is ready. So skill increases for restroom accidents 1. Unfortunately, we didn't build a restroom in time, which is sad for us. But oxygen generation, we just barely started producing oxygen. Power usage, power wasted 800 joules. That was not used or stored in a battery because they started running without storing it in the batteries. Calorie generation, stress change, and I think the batteries also drain as you go. And idle time, none. Perfect. We're looking good. So now we'll need access to the water because our food production will require water access. And I feel that we can build another set of stairs around here. So we'll deconstruct that because we can't build stairs on top of it for some reason. We'll build a ladder down, and then we'll dig. And then we'll dig that. That way they'll have access to this water. And we'll assign this to hold all as well. So any excess materials will be stored in our storage compactors. So far we're looking good. I think we are about at a point where our free oxygen is getting depleted. But we still have a couple of more pockets here and here and here. We have some contaminated water here. So I think what we'll do is we'll use this area to be our oxygen generated via water, which we'll use the electrolyzer, which is something we'll need to research for. So we'll start our research. We'll put our research department up here. So we'll just cancel this. We'll build proper stairs here. And we'll extend the stairs up into there. Can we